The gym is a bad place to start a violent attack because there's a lot of lethal weapons at your disposal. See what happens next.
I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
It just came out! Look at that!
I love it! And we're back for another exciting episode of After Hours with the WYCK Pack. Of course, I'm Dave Palumbo, joined by the WYCK Pack. We started a little late today, but sorry about that. John Romano, Armando DB, Greg Valentino, and Larry Pollock. And guys, we're post-Olympia, but the excitement hasn't stopped, and it seems as though people are back to fighting in the gym, John, which is the most dangerous place to fight, I might add.
Oh, man, is it ever? Generally because the people involved are probably pretty fit, and the fact that there's numerous lethal weapons within arm's reach away. So plates, dumbbells, all kinds. So starting a fight in the gym is a bad idea, but this dude did it anyway.
I worked in this gym called MetroFit in the Bronx, in Pelham Manor. It was just north of the Bronx.
Right.
Greg, you probably know that gym.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And I would work till midnight, and at around 11 p.m., all these troublemakers came in, which I got along with fine, but they would not get along with each other a lot of times, and literally they would be picking up like 10-pound plates and attacking each other with that, which is super dangerous. You do not want to get hit with a 10-pound plate. I mean, you will die.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think that's more dangerous than Larry's shirt? I love that shirt, by the way, Larry. I'm just kidding around. That's some funky shirt. But
that looks like an old throwback shirt from like Body Alive days.
No, it's the Olympia. So from the Olympia.
Oh,
I
like
it shirt too. This is Olympia.
Dave, let me tell you something. East Coast Fitness Center used to get some fucking drama, and so did my gym, not Powerhouse, but when I owned the first gym, Peekskill Fitness Center, we had shootouts in front of the gym. We had guys with bats. Yeah, man. It was bad. It was in Peekskill, New York, and I had to move it the hell out of there. That's what it is.
Metroflex was just fighting. Brian would go out, guys got a problem, go out back and fight. Brian was always like that. Like, you got a problem, go out back and fight. Yeah. So that was a
remember Golds and Worlds back in the day. Fighting all the time in there.
Oh yeah. Back in 81 when Alzado and the Barbarian, I remember they told Barbarian brothers, you're banned for 6 months. You can't come back because Alzado was going to kill him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I used to train with Alzado.
He told them something happened between him and them. I think they did something to his house.
Yes, they had a party. They had a party
and they messed up his house. And then he said,
they were
I'm go take a shit, and if you're here when I come back, I'm going to beat the shit out of both of you.
Right.
And they both left.
I was there. They were house sitting, and they let they were house sitting for Alzado. He went, I think, to Europe for a little bit, and then when they came back, they were having parties in his house, and they wrecked the house. I mean, wrecked it. And Alzado told them, "I'm coming down there. I'm going to kill both of you." And I remember Gronkowski, coming out and saying, "Listen, they got to go. You got to go. Leave."
Yep.
That was then versus now. Now it's very different. I mean, you got Mike Van Wyck, which is a big guy, and this is not his only, violent situations he's had before. He's threatened other people before. This Jeff NIPPARD is a little guy. He's 5'5", around 160 pounds. Basically, you got Dave, all the
I think
science-based
he's
trainers.
180 pounds. I think
Yeah, he's tiny. So you got all these science-based trainers that don't go along with our type of training, bro. They call it bro science now, and that's perfectly fine. But I think they were in the gym together. They're Canadian and all that, and people were trying to say to defend Mike Van Wyck that Jeff was egging him on. I don't think he was egging him on. I don't think he's stupid enough to egg on the guy 4 times his size. I think he thought he was going to, because when they're walking up to each other, you can see they're both smiling, and Jeff's hands are behind his back.
Right.
So I think someone's TV's on.
Yeah, somebody's got some feedback, man.
Could it be me?
I think it's Dave's settings.
Yeah, I think yours kind of sounds a little funky.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay.
Is it
So I think
No,
it
it's
is.
not
I think
him.
so. No.
I don't know.
I'll keep talking. But anyways, he had his hands behind his back, and so he was probably expecting it's someone else, someone's TV or something. I don't know. But
This is NIPPARD right here, by the way, for you guys watching.
yeah. So NIPPARD was probably thought like they're probably just going to talk it out and whatever. So he just grabs it by the throat and just mute some. Let's see who it is. I don't know.
It could be the earphones. Isn't it earphones, Dave?
For me,
but anyways, this kid's small. He made a post. He went and got a CT scan. Luckily, he's okay. And he made this huge post of what really happened, because you had a lot of, Fouad was kind of basically taking Mike Van Wyck's back, saying this guy's been egging him on and all this other stuff, which I don't think that was the case at all. But this is really, really, really bad for his business. You can't do stuff like this these days. The guy can press criminal charges. He can sue him. He can. Is he going to do that? I don't know. But Mike Van Wyck looks like the villain. Nobody's on his side. A lot of people here, like back in the day, are like, fuck around and find out. I get that whole thing, but I don't think this guy was harassing him like that. It was online, and then they might have said a few things in the gym, like kind of playful to Jeff, but then Mike just flipped. And that's not the only time he hit him after this too. It's
Did he?
out on camera. Yeah, he hit him twice.
What
He
was
was on
the
the
I heard
reason?
3.
What was the reason though?
I just said it. Like
I heard-
they had an internet beef.
Just
Go ahead,
because
Dave.
of that though? You didn't pay. I could understand if it was in the moment. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut up.
This is what happened. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What happened was Mike was criticizing NIPPARD's.
No good, Dave.
Dave, you.
Dave, you're
Yeah,
terrible.
you're frozen.
Yeah, you're frozen and roboting. We can't hear you.
So you got all this crazy stuff.
No
We
good.
can't
Dave.
hear you at all, Dave.
Now
You're frozen.
You're frozen and
I'm gonna reboot.
You
You take it over.
need a reboot.
Okay, so Jeff was criticizing, because Mike Van Wyck is a trainer. So he's criticizing all his training methods, which is basically how we all train. Everybody trains. Who cares? Who really cares? Mike NIPPARD is a natural guy. He's a natural pro. And so some of those guys sometimes can be pretty annoying and kind of go over the top and kind of act like they're better than everybody else. I'm not sure. I don't know him that well. I don't know all these young YouTuber guys that come out of the woodwork. I don't know them. They have a cult following, usually all natural guys. But the whole violence thing, that's unnecessary. Even if he was saying something in the gym, which I don't believe he was antagonizing him in the gym, like, oh, Mike, you don't know what you're doing. Like, so I don't think he was saying that across the gym. And people were trying to say that he was, messing with him at the gym. If this guy has a death wish, if he was trying to do that. Regardless, Mike just should have walked away or whatever. You can't go up to a guy and he beat him up. And he didn't just hit him once. He hit him 2 or 3 times. And the kid was hurt enough to go get a CT scan to see what was going on. You could see he had a cut here.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he was terrified, this big, huge guy, which Mike Van Wyck used to be a bodyguard for, celebrities, rappers, and all this kind of stuff. And, you got this huge guy just throwing you down. And That's just, I mean, I guarantee you he wouldn't have done that to some guy that was his size, going on to him and try to.
Well, there were things at that Olympia Expo where he got into it with that. You know, the guy that goes around weighing people.
Yeah, Knespy. Yeah,
him and some other guy, and
we
had
spoke
words,
about that.
but he didn't do anything.
Yeah, it's just because let me tell you, you can't. If I fucking beat up everybody that criticized me, nobody'd be alive. I'd be the only one living on the planet. So I mean, Jesus Christ, the whole articles, the man whose arms is that, the most hated man. Who cares? I mean, I don't know. I've seen a lot of violence in the gym, but it's usually a heated thing in a heat of the moment. You know what I'm saying? But to sit here and worry about what somebody's saying about you online, that's a little bit over the top. I understand the big guy might have been pissed a little bit, but it's a heat of the moment thing. It happens in a gym.
But
how's this guy?
On the other hand,
a little better.
We won't know until you talk. Try talking.
Yeah, say.
How does it sound now?
We don't know. You haven't talked long enough.
All right.
But right now it sounds good.
All right. What I was saying was, and I don't know if you guys already reiterated this, Mike was criticizing NIPPARD's training techniques, and then they were going back and forth. And I guess Mike was like, well, this guy's not going to talk to me this way. And I know Mike personally. So I reached out to him, and he said he couldn't talk about it because obviously there's a legal issue going on. There's a court case going to happen. And he says he will be exonerated, he feels. And, it seems as though he overreacted. I don't like when these young kids, try to make older guys seem like they're losers and that they don't know how to train. But I don't think that was the case in this situation. It doesn't look like that. It looked like Mike might have been the aggressor. Maybe he was trying to do some social media, battling, and it just got out of hand.
But Dave, wait a minute. The other kid, the little guy, the natural kid, right? He had somebody in there with a phone, like filming. So do you think that maybe he wanted this to happen? Like, so this could be the greatest content.
Right. Yeah.
You never know, Greg, because he was not close to him when they were filming, and then he said he told his guy to start filming in case anything happens. So of course something happens like this, and his name's in the news and blows up.
Look, Mike's a tough guy. Mike's a bodyguard for some celebrities. I know that. So Mike's a tough guy. And what this kid probably did was get a little brash with him because he probably knew he was on film. He knew he thought Mike wouldn't hit him. And he figured, you know what? I'm protected and even if I do get pushed or whatever, I got it on film. So you're right. It was like a no-lose situation for him. And back in the day before there was cameras everywhere, okay, if someone went into the gym and challenged you, you got your ass kicked and that was the end of it, And so I'm not saying that Mike did the right thing because I don't believe in bullying people, and I always try to figure out a way to diffuse the situation. But, unfortunately, Mike just might have gotten a bum rap because he was taken out of context, and, he did put his hands on the guy. Whether the guy deserved it or not, it doesn't really matter. You can't put your hands on anyone in today's society. You just can't do it. It's impossible.
It's against the law. I don't know what it is in Canada, but it's here.
John, back in the day, if someone mouthed off to you, you got punched in the mouth. You know what I mean? And that was the end of it.
Gold's Gym in Venice. Greg knows he was there.
Yeah, man. I seen a lot of drama there.
No one called the cops back then. You know what I mean?
I was training with Alzado one day, and he told me there was a guy on the chest machine. He said, "See how many he's got left." I asked the guy, "How many you got left?" He says, "When I'm done."
Yeah.
Within 1 second, Alzado's big giant hand grabs him in the chest, grabs it, and tosses him over here. Dude, I thought the guy was a lawyer, and that little toss cost Alzado.
I was just going to say this guy just said, "Tell the Charlie." I was just going to say they should have a button you push, and out comes Charlie Arms. Fucking hit you on the head and shit.
How many guys did Charlie Arms hit in the gym, or and Mike? What's his name?
The Charlie Arms Ricky Rondinelli story, right, Greg?
No. I forgot. I think I did hear it. But
Ricky Rondinelli was a tough badass. He owned a clothing company. Somehow he said something about Charlie. Charlie went to the gym, went up to where he had his store, and just fucking knocked him out. Dude,
I seen better. I seen it. It was Tony Cucciello, who I was friends with, was dipping, and they didn't like each other, right?
Yeah.
Charlie didn't like Tony, and Tony would scream, ah, ah, like that kind of shit, you know. And
like Mike Israel has
and Charlie Arms walked right over and fucking hit him and knocked him out right between the dipping bars, and he was like, like this, and East Coast finish. That was legendary.
That was common back then, though. That shit happened all the time.
You can't do that anymore. It's a different world anymore.
You remember when Titus knocked somebody out in the gym?
He knocked Arnie List out.
Melvin Anthony. He's in the lobby.
Melvin Anthony. He hit Melvin Anthony, but I don't know if he knocked him out.
No, he knocked him out in the gym. I think he tried him.
But Melvin Anthony also said that he sucker punched him. That Melvin wasn't ready for it.
Melvin had. I was right there. Melvin had his hands in his pockets.
Yeah, Charlie was notorious for sucker punching people, though, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, let me tell you, Charlie Arms, you knew it was coming, and you try to run away, he would still get you. Dude, they had guys come in the gym, you know, Nick Cali, all those guys from the old school Dave with shotgun. You know, the Bernie Price went in the gym after Nick Cali with a shotgun. I mean,
hey, when I was 16 years old, I was training at Steve Davis gym, and I got into it with this older Asian bodybuilder guy. And he called me out, and we went out in the parking lot and fought. And
so that's all normal back then. So let's talk about Jeff Nippard and now, and Mike Van Wyck. Jeff Nippard is, you know, I can see how he can get under people's nerve. He has a really like nerdy little voice, but he's not going to be one of those guys. And there are all those guys that try to like go after guys to get footage. I don't think he did that. I think Mike is in the wrong. Mike, you know, hit him several times, and you got to remember the gym has cameras, so we'll see. Or they will see what really happened. And then, you know, I know Fuad and Mike's whole crew was trying to, you know, take up for him and all that. But how are you going to take up for that? Just walk away from that kid. I mean, now you're going to be looking at legal trouble, lawsuits.
You know what? Let's look at it from both sides, okay? Because we have no horse in this race, so we don't matter. I mean, I know Mike. I'm friends with him, but he's a good guy. But you know, he could, if he's wrong, he's wrong. You know, but, you know, this guy doesn't have anything to prove. Beating up an 880-pound guy is nothing for him. You saw he hit him in the throat with his hand. The guy went right down. I mean, he didn't punch him in the face. He didn't slap him. You know, granted, he could have hurt his windpipe or whatever, but he didn't, you know, knock his teeth out of his mouth. Obviously, the guy had to have said something to him. Okay, he didn't go in there and just unprovokingly beat him up. The guy must have said something like, "What are you going to do?" or something. You know that there was some provocation on his part. Doesn't mean that Mike should have hit him. Doesn't mean that. But, you know, Mike's old school, and he's like, you know what? This guy, he deserves a beating. Now, it was a bad decision on his part in retrospect, because anytime you put your hands on someone first, okay, you're going to lose. There's no way. There's no way the guy put his hand on him. Now, if the guy would have gone for him or lunged towards him, different story. But I can't see that happening.
Who owns the gym, Dave? Did the big guy own the gym?
No.
What's
his name?
HC Muscle, Dorian Hayward.
Yeah,
Dorian
Hayward.
He actually looked like he had a smile on his face though when he pushed the kid. So at first I wasn't sure if he was kidding around.
Dorian Hamilton. Yeah.
They both did. But I mean, it's funny because he's getting a CT scan. He has like a baby little scratch that looked like a little cat.
He didn't hurt. He didn't get hurt. He's
not hurt. He's looking to get, you know, probably sue him.
He's trying to milk it a little bit. Yeah, he's trying to milk it.
And this gets him in the news. And I really didn't know much of Jeff Nippard. His stuff would pop up here and there, and he's very. I'll tell you this: he's very annoying. His information is annoying. He's very like, you know, I know everything.
It was embarrassing for this kid. That's all it was. Yeah.
It was embarrassing for Mike too, though. You can't act that way. I mean, there's so many times I want to do that kind of stuff.
You know what? And I don't know if this is good or bad. Back in the day, if that would have happened, John, that kid would have walked away, and it would have been the end of it. No cops would have been called. There would have been no police reports, and he wouldn't have mouthed off to him again after that. It would have been over. So it's a different time we live in, unfortunately. You know.
But
one of the problems you have now is these people, they think they can just say anything or do anything, and there's no consequences.
Right.
So they
like
do.
The guy that pushes, bumps into people at the expo and films it.
But you got to remember, the kids make it. Dude, the kid's milking this shit. Look at it. He's got this. We're talking about him. Sure, it's all over everywhere else.
Oh, he's loving it. It's helping his social media for sure. Yeah,
absolutely.
But then going to get a CT scan or MRI, whatever the fuck, for nothing. for nothing.
Well,
Like
I mean, he
ever
was
got
pushed
picked
pretty hard by his neck, so he could have got a neck injury. He could have, but
that being said, there are guys who in any gym who are notorious for you not fucking with them, and
Right.
if you go cross that line and fuck with guys, Jeep Swenson, remember Jeep Swenson, Greg?
Yeah, of course. I remember.
So here's a great example. One day, I'm gonna leave the names out because everybody else is still alive.
He went after Platt.
So exactly, that's the thing I'm talking about. So apparently, Platts messed with Jeep's girlfriend. Apparently, I forgot her name.
He didn't mess with her. I think he married her. Remember Cheryl?
But whatever happened that particular day that set him off, Jeep went in and beat the shit out of Tom Platts I think it was in the parking lot. The next day, the girl shows up at the gym wearing dark sunglasses. She had a black eye too. So there's just some guys you don't mess with. You just don't do it. I mean, if they have a reputation, you know they're violent, you know they're crazy, you know they're strong and big and capable. Don't fuck with them. Period. But obviously, as you guys are saying, this guy's getting all kinds of mileage out of this for his social media. So it's probably going to play well for him. He's milking it. You don't really normally get a CT scan when you get karate chopped in the neck unless you get caught, you know. So
evidently he's banned from the gym, John, according to this.
You know who else?
He is banned.
Tim Belknap was smacking around his girl. And
is this true? Hold on.
Yeah, he is banned.
It's called an attempted murder. Is that true?
Murder.
That guy's a whack job. So.
He's your buddy.
Yeah, but you know what though? You know, the problem with that is you get into you get the right lawyer or the wrong lawyer, however you want to put it, and they create case. I mean, getting chopped in the neck, that's definitely life-threatening. I mean, with a guy that size, with a guy that's that small, I mean, any lawyer could make a case for attempted murder in that case. I mean, it would go to court as such. So how are you going to dispel that?
He could have tripped over that bench because he fell over a bench, and he was that far away from hitting his head on the all the weights.
Right.
That would have been bad.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Or what if the kid got to his feet with a 10-pound dumbbell and started mauling him with it? You know, I mean, that's possible too. Throwing plates at him. I mean, any one of you guys, you get pushed around like that, you're going to snap. I mean, you're going to do anything to get the guy. So,
Greg, Dave Smith wants you to tell the story when you saw Jack Ruby shoot Harvey Oswald.
Dave's my friend. Dave Smith's my friend.
I know Dave.
Yeah, I know Dave too.
I think Jack Ruby stayed at Greg's house, actually.
I got his socks over here.
He actually didn't even know that Greg's had his gallbladder removed. Can you imagine?
Yeah. He also pushed his cameraman into the cable tower. Supposedly, I didn't see that. But
oh, really? Even the cameraman got it too.
Wow.
Yeah, the cameraman
Dude,
got it.
I tried to stop it. We had a racial war in my gym.
He should have taken the camera, is what he should have done, and broke it into a million pieces, because that's really the most damaging thing that came out of the whole thing, right?
Well, they still have cameras from the gym on everything.
Right.
Yeah, that's what everybody forgets. My gym is fucking camera. If you're picking your nose in there and shit, somebody they see it, you know.
Did you see what's his name? Rodgers, the quarterback for the Jets, got caught picking his nose.
No, they're always doing it. Go watch a baseball.
They got him picking his nose and eating it on the sidelines.
Nice. Well, where are you gonna put it? You got to put it on one of the other guys. Yo, dude, good. Yo, good catch, like that. You got to put on one of the other guys.
Everyone wants to hear Larry's fight story. He's telling it before. What was your fight story, Larry?
I don't know which one. There's so many.
He said he took him and a guy went out in the parking lot.
He said he beat him up in the parking lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh yeah, they got it when I was 16 years old. This older Asian dude, he was like a grown man. He challenged me to a fight, and we went in the parking lot in Steve Davis gym and basically went at it for about 5 minutes till Steve Davis finally pulled us apart. And I was just a kid, but
were you really? Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was 16, and wow, I did okay. Consider I was 16. He was like literally a grown man bodybuilder dude, And the next day, the same dude, Peter Lou, his name was, he was mouthing off in the gym, and these big black guys told him, "Shut up! You let a child beat you."
Oh, shit. That's funny. Dude, I stopped a racial war in our gym. We had a big racial war. But a bunch of Italian kids came in from it was all bullshit, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I got hit. I got blindsided. One brother came and hit me low, right? They took football, hit me, and the other had a bat in his hand, and he hit me on the way down, just fucking, across my back. But it was the whole gym went insane in peak.
Wow.
But you know
was
what?
Peak skill.
You know what I just thought of? I was 16 years old and I fought this dude. And when it was over, it was over. I didn't like go cry to my mom.
Right.
You didn't put it up on
charges and call the police.
No one did back then. Everybody fought, and it was over, and that was it. And you went on with your business.
Now everybody wants to sue, and they're
if this was 20 years ago, people would be saying that kid deserved it, no matter whether he did or not. He probably didn't. I'm sure the kid was he didn't deserve it, but people would be saying he got what he deserved. He's never going to mouth off to a fucking big guy again after that. And he wouldn't. It would have humbled him probably. But we live in a different society now. I'm not saying it was right or wrong. I don't like seeing anyone bully anyone else. But I wasn't there.
I think it was Mike Tyson who said it. He says these days people say shit online that you would get punched in the mouth for if it was in person. Right? Here's a perfect example of a guy saying something he would have gotten punched in the mouth for, and he got punched. So
let me ask you
that shit happens.
John, have you ever watched videos today where guys walk in dojos and Brazilian jiu-jitsu places and actually challenge the guy that owns it or the teacher? So people, there just happens to be a camera there. So I'm just saying, people are nuts. A lot of these guys look for this shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They look for trouble. They think like, oh, I can do this. I mean, I don't know. Usually for me, it would have to be a spur of the moment thing. You'd have to really piss me off. But I'm aware too now, I'm 64 fucking years old.
Right.
And, you can't do shit like that. It's just not right. The little guy shouldn't have antagonized him.
I think Mike said some stuff first, and then Jeff, if you watch it, Jeff walked over to Mike's side and just stood there with his hands behind his back, thinking they were going to talk. They were both smiling, and then Mike walked over to him, grabbed him by the throat, threw him down. That's all we saw, but apparently he attacked him. Mike attacked him again.
Arma, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Whose gym was it? No, I know. I'm saying
Dorian Hamilton.
No. Whose home gym it was? Did these guys happen to train in the same gym together all the time, or did this little guy come into the big guy's gym?
Yeah, I know that's Mike. Mike, he trains people out of there. Mike, that's his home gym that he trains people out of there.
Well, that kid must have been there for a reason.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Did that kid happen to be training there? Oh, just by coincidence, or did he go looking for that?
I think he probably just showed up there. So he probably kind of showed up there to kind of make a video. See, they might have got some footage of talking back and forth, but it didn't go how he wanted. But he's still getting a lot of clout for this. And
I think what Greg's saying, Armand, what Greg is saying, it seems a little contrived. Like this kid knew Mike was there. He went there purposely to confront him, get it on video, and maybe he antagonized the situation a little bit because he knew Mike was a hothead.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And elicit that response.
I think he baited the big guy. I think he baited Mike. I think the little guy baited Mike. You shouldn't have been there. If you knew that you're online and you have this online.
No, it's Jeff's gym too. On his profile, that's his gym. That's his home gym too.
Oh, okay.
It's both their home gyms.
All right.
So
who's the guy that goes to the expos and bumps into people on purpose?
That's set up, John.
That guy's going to get punched in the face one of these days too.
John, that's set up. So he talks to you before he does that.
Yeah. He sets it up. Yeah,
he does. That's all staged. That's staged.
Yeah, of course it is.
That guy's a comedian, John. Huh? That guy's a comedian. Yeah.
I thought he was just doing it,
he would get killed.
You ever see the guy that walks up behind the thugs and pulls their pants all the way down and does it on,
that's crazy too. Yeah.
One time he did it and a gun came out, it fell out.
Dude, you ever see
stage now?
There was a kid who was doing that in the mall.
That's why what that Borat did was crazy because that was not staged.
That's correct.
He was taking his life into his hands with some of the crazy shit
Some
he
of
did
it
to
was
some of these
staged,
people.
though. Some of it was, and some of it wasn't.
But a lot of it wasn't. A lot of it wasn't. A
Dude,
lot of it
do
wasn't.
you ever think
Pamela
that-
Anderson, that was for real.
How
Yeah.
stupid, dude? But how stupid was fucking Rudy Giuliani when he got him in a room with that chick, and Giuliani's really taking his fucking pants
That
off.
was hilarious.
How
That was
What?
that was
Yeah.
some good shit.
Yeah, that was very
You guys-
funny.
You guys remember the show Cheaters? It was based out of Dallas. That was all staged. Every single one of those was staged.
No,
Oh, it was.
it really?
That was.
Yeah, all of
That's-
those. I was gonna do bodyguarding for the show. They only paid like 50 a thing, and they explained to us this is all fake, everything's set up. And then a few of my friends were on the show, and then one of the hosts, they played that his exit was like he got stabbed by one of the disgruntled cheaters, and that was all set up too. But people really believed he got stabbed for years, and it wasn't true at all. So
Wow.
all of those were set up. I mean, because think about the time you would have to actually put in the PI work to do all that kind of stuff.
Wait,
it was all set up.
Can I say something? My friend is a producer, was one of the producers for Monster Quest, the show where they go down like, we're looking for the giant snakes of fucking, Florida. And they would actually take the snake, put it on the side of the road, and then all of a sudden, guys,
Oh,
look,
they
there's
always
one
do
right
that.
there.
Right. Yep.
He
They
told
do
me
that all the time.
They faked all that shit.
Yeah.
We're here looking for Bigfoot, and all of a sudden a rock comes out of nowhere. And it was another guy offset. He would throw a rock and it hit off the tree. Shit, holy shit! You see that? He told me it was all fucking set up. By the way, I did. Joe Pietaro and I did an interview with Les Stroud, who was an absolutely great guy, and he was telling me. I asked him, dude, you're in these woods. Do you ever see really for real a Bigfoot and everything? He said he never saw one. He did say, though, I'm in the woods where there's nobody for hundreds of miles. And every once in a while, I would hear these noises and a rock would fly from nowhere and hit the tree or something like that. And I know Les Stroud's not bullshitting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just thought that was interesting. I don't believe in
Greg, the
Bigfoot.
last Bigfoot on Earth just recently passed.
No,
You know what
Lenny?
Big Lenny was the last Bigfoot on Earth. Yeah. Unfortunately, we say a prayer for Lenny's family and
God
Lenny
bless
because I
Lenny.
miss
Lenny
him.
was a good
I
man.
miss him every day. My sister, who's psychic, told me that she saw Big Lenny following me around the Olympia the whole weekend. She's like, he's with you. I can feel it, and I believe that too. I think that Lenny was with us watching all the coverage we did at the Olympia, and he was a lot of people came up to me. They were very upset that Lenny died, and he had a lot of people who really liked him. He was a very likable person, even though he said crazy controversial shit. He was very, very likable, and it's a shame because we all try to help him. We wanted him to be around. We busted balls and we had fun with him, but at the same time, we didn't want to see him die, and it was really a tragedy because it was avoidable that death. It really was.
And
Yeah, he was a good guy.
he transcended bodybuilding. Max knows who he is. He said he's a popular meme on TikTok. That blows my mind that when you move out of the niche like that into mainstream, it's like you'd think him, but that's what happens. It's unbelievable how we have no control over this algorithm.
Yeah. The Jimmy and Lee show, I don't know what happened to them. The Jimmy and Lee are in the hospital every other week, so with the emergency room, so they don't have any time to do a show.
They should do it from the emergency room.
They probably
you do nothing but wait until when you get there. So they should do it from the hospital.
Dave, John said you were coaching Nick Walker now.
No, I'm not coaching. He did, not that I know of, at least.
That's a rumor that's going around.
Yeah, well, I would do it if he wanted to, but the best
He was
sushi
just
spot.
in Dallas.
What?
Nick was in Dallas for about a week training at Absolute Recomp. So a lot of people think he was talking to Hani, but Hani has his own private gym. So, but he was here for about a week training Absolute Recomp. So
speaking of that, Dave,
I would tell Nick Walker just to go back to the gym and train like a freak and stop worrying about waist size and proportion. And just be a super freak like he is, and that's what he looks his best at.
Yeah.
And all these people have all these magical potions to like try to melt his waist. Stop with it already. Go train heavy. That's what got you here. That's why you look so great, because you train like an animal, you eat like an animal, and that's what we want to see on stage. You can't turn Marcus Rule into Flex Wheeler. And if you try to do that, you're going to ruin Marcus Rule, right? It's the
That
same
would
thing
be
with Nick Walker.
racist. That would be racist. But Dave, let me.
But
didn't you go to high school with Chris Angel?
I did.
Was he like doing all that magic when he was young?
He was. They used to make fun of him. I wasn't friends with him in high school. I became friends with him after high school, but he was a year older than me. Actually, when I went to his show in Vegas and we went backstage with him, his mom was there, and his mom still lives in the same house in East Meadow where we grew up. So it's crazy.
What high school was that? What high school?
East Meadow High School.
East Meadow High School.
East Meadow.
Yeah.
Cool. Usually
I love
those guys
that guy.
are really
He's
weird in high school and all that. I went to school with the lead singer Flyleaf. I don't know if you guys knew who that is, but it's a huge band. It's a girl singer, but she was real weird in high school. Pink hair, just kept to herself, but they're,
I heard Gaga was crazy in high school too. I mean, she was like a real nerdy girl, too.
Yeah.
What do you think about what's happening with Matt Jensen? All his guys are leaving him.
Yeah, I have my own theory. This whole thing is very suspicious. I'll tell you why. Because Jensen worked with these, and I'm not trying to defend Jensen because I don't know him personally. Jensen worked with all these guys. They all got very good results for many years with him. They all work for his company, a lot of these guys. And then all of a sudden, this year, every single guy looks terrible, and it's all Matt's fault. And everyone fired him. Isn't it kind of weird that he was able to get everyone looking good for years and years, and then all of a sudden, this year, everything went wrong with everyone, and everyone fired him and said how bad coach he is.
So Brett Wilkins, Dave, Matt didn't even dial him in. Brett couldn't hardly get a hold of him the last week of his show, so he dialed himself in.
I'm wondering if either, I'm going to let you finish a second. I was wondering maybe Matt has been so tied up in his business that he hasn't been giving these athletes enough attention.
I think that, and I think he's going through probably some personal stuff. But Quentin came out and said, "Hey, this is what he does," and this is true because when I used to call out Matt saying certain things about Matt, I got clients that had kidney failure and all that. I would get attacked. Matt had like a cult type following of people that would attack you, and Quentin was basically saying that he was scared to voice his opinion because you would get attacked by all these people that were Matt's guys. And so finally he was tired of it, and he came out and voiced his opinion. And then Nick said he left, and Sean Clarita, then Brett Wilkins, and then Justin Shire, and then Matt said he pretty much retired. So Matt was. I had a consult last night with the guy that just hired me. He had a consult with Matt before. He said Matt was extremely rude to him on the phone. He's arrogant. I think he just got to that point. But what I've been saying about Matt over the years, a lot of other people has been reserved on saying several things because you got Matt, whatever you want to call it, minions, cult-like people that would attack you. And I got attacked by a lot of these people, like in my DMs. I could care less. But I mean, that's what the athletes were scared of. They were like, no, you're not going to do this. They felt controlled. And I really think that's the truth. And now that they're kind of like Beastwood came out, the others are like, yeah, screw this too. We're going to leave. And, I'm sure more will come out. I think Matt's making plenty of money from his business. He doesn't need to coach people. No. And he probably lost his passion too. His guys didn't do well. He's off the mark. You can't be on the mark all the time, but I'm sure he's, but him and Nick were supposed to be best friends too. So, I mean, what happened with that?
Yeah, the whole thing, I think it was a little, look, I'm not going to say one way or another. I don't know what his coaching, skills were, but it seems pretty bad that all these guys who were best friends with him were singing his praises for so many years now, are all like jumping on the bandwagon to bash this guy. I don't think necessarily that, it sounds weird unless he had gag orders on these guys up until a certain point and no one was really using him and maybe they were just pretending to use him.
Well, according to Quentin, that a lot of people had issues with him, but they were afraid to say it. But then he came out and started talking about it. Now the rest of them started talking about it.
I see.
Well, just supports my anti-guru stance.
And then a lot of the lower level guys that had issues with him, that he was really rude to or blew off, they didn't say anything. And if they did, they wouldn't be heard because they didn't have a name. So Matt had this track record for quite a while and being, really rude to people, ghosting on people, telling people every time a client looked bad, he would just said, "Oh, your gear's fake. Your gear fake." That was his normal response. It wasn't like, "Hey, let's test your gear." It was like, "Your gear's fake." And is that
right.
So I think
people's gear be fake these days. I mean, it's so
there's
John,
zero
everything.
test
There's so much fake gear out there. You have
I
idea.
No, I know there's
I
tons of
sell
fake gear out there, but
thousands of those Roy test kits because there's a
Exactly.
lot of fake gear.
Even if there is,
with the
even
amount
if
of
there is
testing
fake
that we
gear,
have available, and the
you really
means of
think
you
the
to be
top
able
Olympia
to,
guys can't get real gear?
They do
what
it.
I'm saying
They do it.
is there is such easy access to test your gear to see if it's real that a top pro should not be screaming about whether or not his gear was fake. That's ridiculous. There's no reason for that. Absolutely no valid reason for it.
I think we should hire Mike Van Wyck to get rid of all the bad coaches. Just have him beat them all up and get rid of them.
You just don't need any coaches, is what you.
I don't think the top guys are taking fake gear, but a lot of these amateur guys, Dave knows. I coach people too. Dave knows people have fake gear all the time. Hey, Simi, what are you taking? Oh, my Anivars D ball, my Primo's Test Pro. It's all the time.
I hear it. These guys send me the results of the test that they buy from me, and I'm like, nope, that's fake. And sometimes it's nothing. Some of these guys they're taking zero. They're not taking any drugs.
Yep. It's just a bottle of oil. That's all it is.
Well, drop your dosage.
All you got to do is go to Palumbo.com and buy the Roy test kits. It's $20 or $22.
That's what blows my mind. It's so easy to test.
I know.
And everybody knows how much fake gear is out there. Why in the world would you buy a course of gear and not buy the test kit?
Right.
Even if you get fake gear,
they're cheap.
You tell me you use fake gear for 2 weeks and you don't know?
Exactly. That's another good point. Yeah.
Because what happened, you know what? People just don't even think about it, Larry. They forget that that's a variable that could possibly be happening. So they buy new gear.
I take a shot of Test Pro, but I know like 5 minutes later that I took a shot of Test Pro.
Yeah, I know. But when you're dieting and you're really depleted, sometimes you can't tell. But the answer is don't eat. As soon as you get a new batch of stuff in, even if it's the same stuff as you got the last year, test it. Always test a new batch.
$20
too. A lot of stuff is testosterone. You EQ is fake testosterone. A lot lot of stuff is fake testosterone. Right. So you're still growing.
That's always
strong.
They're famous for that in Mexico. They make 25 milligram test without the label on the bottle.
The place
you
where
get an
they're
order
getting
from
their
Becca,
gear
Becca label on it.
Guy out of Canada.
They're just not getting the look they're supposed to get.
One at a time, guys.
The guy that all his guys get their gear from this guy out of Canada, and that lab has a reputation of making like really good gear, and a lot of top pros are using that same gear, and everybody says it's good. So it's not like they were just taking random shit from the street.
Yeah, but that gear is faked, Larry. That happens all the time. You get a good brand, everybody's talking about it. The enterprising crook is going to fake it.
Yeah, but those guys got direct connection to.
I was discussing this with Chris Aceto yesterday. We were talking about the Olympia guys, and we were saying a lot of these guys came in. They looked like they might have been on fake gear, or they looked a little small. But you know what happened? I think a lot of these top guys looked at Hottie from his conditioning from the Arnold Classic this past year. The guy was shrink wrapped, insanely conditioned. One of the best looks I've ever seen on a bodybuilder. And I think all these guys chase that look. And not everyone can get that hard. It's a mistake. And I think guys like Derek Lunsford chased that look, and his legs, he had the best legs in bodybuilding, and his legs were small looking. Hot, you can't do that. And sometimes when you go after that, chasing someone else, and you give up abandon your own look, it ruins your physique. And I don't know if that's what happened to Nick Walker, but it's possible that he was going for this like streamlined look. He wanted to be crazy shredded, and he over dieted. And he lost the wow factor that made him Nick. That's not
what happened to Nick.
I think Chris Aceto takes fake shampoo, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's not what happened to Nick. I made a whole video on it. You saw him in New York. His stomach was all blown out because he got insulin resistant because he'd been taking too much GH and insulin and other shit for too long. And finally, he couldn't control his midsection anymore. And then he tried to bring it in for the Olympia, but they realized before the Olympia that it just wasn't coming in time. And he wasn't going to be ready. And he knew he got a gift in New York. Murray should have beat him in New York, but they let him have it anyways. And I'm sure they probably told him that if you come into Olympia looking like that, you're not going to place top 5.
But how did he get away with stepping out of there? Back in the
Good
day,
question.
you had no choice. You had no. Remember Mike Quinn? I don't care. You're fat, out of shape. You signed.
I don't look good. I'm not showing up. You know, it's like
Yeah.
but you guys saw the video 3 weeks out. It wasn't just his stomach. You saw his back. You saw his chest. You saw his arms. He was not 3 weeks out in that video. He looked like he was 8 weeks out.
John,
So
don't you
just a
remember
stomach
you could
issue.
not get out of that? Do you remember that, John? If you could,
Yeah.
it would have to be an active guy.
Yes. Well, I mean,
Wayne would find you. Wayne DeMillia would find you. Yeah.
Look at Brandon
Wow.
Curry last year. Brandon Curry last year was in the hospital. He left
day
the
before.
hospital bed and went to the stage. He knew he didn't look good. He was going to take the L because he had to compete. So you got the guy on the poster. You promoted him all year. His fans are expecting him. The public is expecting him. He's
That's
supposed
right.
to be in the show, and he gets to drop out a week out. Sean Ray got banned for a year for doing that.
That's the way it used
Right.
to be. Automatic ban for 1 year.
Well, he wasn't the only one that dropped out. You had several people drop out before the show.
Yeah.
Well, no,
no.
Brandon Henderson dropped out. He never committed to the show, so he really didn't drop out at the last minute.
No, you had what's his name? Remember the other little black guy that won the Cal?
Which one?
The guy that just won the Cal this year, the little pro.
Oh, Tony O'Burton. Yeah, but I think he never committed either. I don't think he ever signed the contract.
And
No,
then there
he
was
didn't.
a chick that was Mr. Olympia in the bikini, and
You
she
don't
dropped
sign the
out.
contract, and it's not. Then it's fine. If you sign the contract, that's a different story. So
Yeah.
You're
They
picking
You're on a poster.
could
better
say they're
show
doing
off.
it. They could say they're doing it, but as long as they don't sign the contract, people might
Right,
think they're
right,
coming in and
right.
doing it.
Right,
The other
right.
guys didn't sign the contract. Nick signed the contract. There should be
Right.
punishment for Nick, whether it
And
be
if
$10,000.
you're on the poster, you gotta fucking go. Right, John? Right? That's the way it was.
You,
One of the-
you're
one of the
on the
Marines-
poster, right, Greg? You got to go. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, if you have
an
an accident, if you have an accident or a health issue, that's a different story.
That's completely
Yeah, yeah.
different.
Nick's got to get thicker skin and understand. Okay, people's always going to talk so much shit about his waist. He has that waist. He's got to come in there like the normal freak he has before. But I think his body stopped responding because of health issues. If he was unhealthy and looked good, he would still gone up there. But his body stopped responding because of
you know
health
what? I don't agree with that. I don't agree. I think what happened was he tried to play a game where he was trying to, because like Larry said, his waist was a little
He did,
blown
or
out.
Matt did.
New York
Matt
Pro.
did, or
I think Matt. I think
Yeah.
he listens to Matt. I think Matt played some crazy game and I heard some insane stuff they were doing,
right.
and it didn't work. It backfired. He looked small, and his waist didn't look any better. And I think it just was not a good look for him.
I think
So
he ate Donald Trump's French fries.
No,
That's
they,
what
I
think.
know for a fact.
he dropped what's his name too, Matt. So
I think he
and
ate
they were
one of-
friends.
He ate a thing of Donald Trump's French fries.
You
I
know
know
what?
for a fact to try to
I
catch
saw
up
that.
that he was using DNP. They were using DNP to try to catch him up.
They were.
Well, then that is the worst thing for a freak to use
Well,
because
for
who's
a
got a
fact.
fast metabolism. It'll eat your muscle up.
Totally.
Yeah.
I did a whole
Right.
video on this, and this is not like something that science doesn't know. It's common in diabetics. They become insulin resistant, and the nerves in their intestines stop working, and so they can't digest their food. And when
A
you
lot
can't
of these guys
digest
are
your
insulin
food, the
resistant,
food
though.
sits in your stomach, produces gas, and that's what made the stomach distended. And at the same time, the muscles aren't getting nutrients, so you're shrinking.
What's
So
the remedy for that?
The only possible remedy is to get off the gear for a long time and go on maybe low carbs for a long time and downsize until maybe someday your body goes back to normal. But
Yeah, I'm not buying that, Larry.
I'm not
I
saying
don't
it's
think
for sure going to work, but the only person that's had that blown stomach and got it back in was Rolly. He did it, and he got it back in, and he got it in for 1 year, and then he stopped competing.
I don't think that's Nick's problem. I don't think that's Nick's
Yeah.
problem. I think Nick tried to do some stuff that just didn't work.
You saw him in New York when he competed. His stomach was hanging out all over the place.
Yeah, but you know what? He was big in New York. To me, all he needed to be was about 5 pounds lighter, and he would have been perfect. So whatever they did from New
He
York
was
to
big
the
in New York,
Olympia,
but his stomach
did
was
not
big
work.
too.
No, but it didn't. But his stomach was big because he wasn't lean enough. He was about 5 or 6 pounds off his usual
No, he
best.
was distended.
Nah, I mean, he was distended because he was too big. I'm telling you, if he would have come down 5 pounds, it would have been perfect.
I think he's got a health issue. That's.
I'm
I'm agreeing with
When
Armin.
you're insulin resistant and you try to eat carbs to carb up, and you can't digest the carbs, they just blow your stomach up.
He needs Fiberlize. I reached out to him and asked him if I told him I'd send him some Fiberlize. He never got back to me. But
That's what he needs.
yeah.
Anyway,
we have a guest here. I'm going to introduce in a second, but I want to just tell you, when I was out in Vegas, I went to Dominic's, Dr. Pierce. Dominic Matasio works with Dr. Pierce, who I've had on the show a lot of times talking about testosterone. And we did some videos out there, and Dr. Pierce ran a test on me. It's a new test that can detect cancer in your body. The sensitivity is amazing. I mean, it detects the DNA of the cancer cells, because when you start having cancer in your body, forming in your body, the immune system will attack the cancer initially. And when it breaks down the cancer cells, the DNA go into the bloodstream, and they can detect that now. And it's so sensitive that they can tell you what kind of cancer you have, where it is. So I really was not happy. I really was a little nervous about getting this test because I have a lot of cancer, on my mother's side of the family. And I had thyroid cancer myself. So I went and they did the test for me very generously. They did it for free. They took my blood, and I got the results back just now. I saw it on my thing, and I have no detection of any cancer in my body. So
now where do we get this done?
Does that mean the divorce is
it.
final?
What?
I said, does that mean the divorce is final? Get it? You cut the cancer out of your life.
I might drop dead or something else, Greg, but I'm not.
Are you going to tell us where to get this done? Because I want to do it.
Yeah, if they do it in Vegas, but I think there's other facilities, and I will try to get the name of the test, and I will find out where people can go get this done. But I know Dr. Pierce is doing some amazing stuff over there in Vegas, and I think everyone should get this test done. Yeah, it is a little expensive. It's about $1,200 for the test, but it's worth it to know. Yes.
Wait a minute, Dave. I used to get that. It might be the same test. Is it called Nova?
I'll tell you exactly what it is. Hold on.
Because my doctor did it when I had the throat cancer. I have to get it every year.
Did he really? Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's a blood test they send out, and they can tell if that's what you're talking
about. This
is
a body scan, I believe, right?
No, this is it's a blood test.
Mine was a blood test.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You have to go to a specific. I had to go to Phelps.
So Quest doesn't do it then.
No, I don't know. No. They might. They might. You know what? I got to find out if they do it.
They could draw the blood, I think, but they can't. They can't do that test. It goes to a special lab.
They're not doing full body MRIs where they can see everything.
I did it.
It's called
something with Nova.
Gallery test. GALLERI. Gallery test.
Yeah, I was actually trying to do one like a year back, and asked my doctor. He's like, "You have to go to a special place to do that. You can't just I can't order this for a blood test."
It's called Grail. Grail is the company that does it, and you can contact them at 833-694-2553 and find out where the test is.
Dave, I'm telling you, I used to date my doctor, Eric Jenner, top doctor, and, because I had throat cancer. And I had to go through that shit. Yeah.
Did you know Greg had throat cancer, John?
I'm still amazed that nobody knew he had his gallbladder.
Holy shit.
There we get the
now
gallbladder.
You tell us?
Now
he's cancer too? You know a guy.
And he's diabetic?
I actually think that my gallbladder caused that fight between that guy Van Wyck and the other little guy.
No, it was the waitress you ordered your meal from that caused the fight.
Greg, what would you do? That dude grabbed you and pushed you over somehow. What would you do?
I would have hit him right there. I would have kicked him fucking right in the fucking. I would have kicked him.
Greg is a fighter. Greg's a fighter. Yeah.
Believe me, I can hang and bang. There would have been trouble. I don't give a shit how big you're. And then if he hurt me, there would have been fucking dumbbells flying. And
that's right.
10-pound plate right up on site. Yep. 10-pound plate.
Mike seems
when I was
like
training at John
though,
Lloyd's gym years ago, there was a trainer there, a big bodybuilder dude, and he was training this woman, and I guess he was having an affair with a woman, and the husband found out, and he came into the gym, and he picked up I think it was like a 25-pound plate, and he bashed the dude in the head, and that guy had permanent brain damage.
You could die. Yeah, you could die from that. That's not serious.
25-pound plate. Holy shit.
Yeah, but you know what?
This was like a regular sized dude.
If you're pissed off, let me tell you.
Hold on, I got to introduce our guest, Stuart, because
before you tell Stuart to put a light on, because I can't.
Hey, Stuart,
do you have any lights over there? I know. Can you put a light on your face there?
Yeah, I can't. It's a bit dark, and
looks like we're about to catch a predator.
All right.
Is it nighttime there?
Tell us why you're here,
right.
Because we're talking about a lot of fights. We have another fight, John, brewing potentially that surrounds Big Lenny. So tell us the story, Stuart.
Right. Now I'm not the violent type. I'll be honest. I never start trouble, but I'm prepared to sort it out. And I've got a bit of a martial arts background anyway. Cali Muscle. He's taken down the video now, and I saw it on John Bravo's review, where he said "fuck Big Lenny" when he's taking his kids to the. Sorry about swearing. When he's taking his kids to the park, he has to do a video, and he had to say that. And for some reason, it really, really, really hurt me. I mean, you guys know Big Lenny. He was a nice guy.
Why does Cali Muscle not like Big Lenny? Why is that?
I think it's because he used to. Well, you know how he used to joke and banter and all the rest of it. Called him like old Chuck Basher, this, that, and the other. I think what it stemmed from was there was a Order 66 or something to do with Jason Genova, and Cali Muscle called him a retard and this, that, and the other. And I think Big Lenny said something back like sticking up for him.
Oh.
But,
Didn't Cali?
this was years ago.
Wasn't it racial stuff?
Yeah, that's what he says. I mean, I don't know if it was, but that's what Cali Muscle says. But Lenny wasn't racist. I mean, God, 10s, come on. That doesn't mean if he was racist, it was right. But, we all know that he didn't mean anything by it. He's not, and the guy's just died. We only just found out he died, and to be fair, tragic circumstances. He died on his own. He was alone. He was there a few days, as far as I'm aware.
Right.
And it's shortly after his mate died too. And I'm sorry if you don't like Big Lenny, fine. You don't have to mention it, but you don't go on there when you're taking your kids to the park. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll make a video and post it on my Instagram telling him fuck Big Lenny. I mean, come on, that's not. But
listen,
it really annoyed me, and I challenge him. I want to challenge him to a fight, a martial arts fight. I could say MMA, but yeah, we could just do kickboxing. No one wants to see us rolling on the ground. They want to see us stand there and throw some punches and kicks, I think, if they want to see it, of course.
Who are you trying to fight now?
I couldn't stomach it. I mean,
Cali Muscle.
He wants to fight Cali Muscle.
But we know Big Lenny was not a racist.
Yeah.
Big Lenny loved black girls and shit like that. So I know, and Lenny was a great guy. I don't think that you don't talk bad about the dead, bro. Even if you don't like the dude, you just let him rest in peace. That's like bad karma. That's not good karma. You're evoking bad shit.
Totally. I mean, why lower yourself and make yourself look like a scumbag? As I said, he took down the video. Now, I don't think he's taking it down because he's sorry, because he hasn't given a response, like a reply, an apology, right? What I said was that. But he's just taking it down, I think, because he's been getting all the negative comments and so on and so forth. I mean, everyone was having a go at him. So I think he's doing it to save face. So my idea, as I say, I can't knock Cali Muscle in terms of the hustle. He's done well. He's in prison, come out, wrote a book, made some music, if you can call it that, and supplements, again, if you can call them that, and so on and so forth. But this for me was one step too far. He's done lots of things over the years. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw when he put on the rhino mask and he was wearing a thing, and he went into the gym and he's shouting and shouting all this stuff and throwing points around. Did you see it? What did you think?
That was ridiculous. He was rude as shit to that front desk girl.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
So you want to get in the ring with Cali Muscle?
Sorry, say again.
So you want to get into the ring with Cali Muscle and fight him for charity? How do you want to do this?
Yeah, but Cali Muscle's
charity would be a good idea.
Maybe we could have a round robin, John, with Mr. G. Mr. G's looking for a fight.
Didn't Cali Muscle get sick and lost a bunch of weight?
Yeah, he's
big anymore.
A few years ago, he had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Well, you look trained MMA now anyway, so.
It's a shame. I always think Cali Muscle was a funny guy.
I would do a kickboxing match.
Yeah, but he ain't gonna fight you. He's sick. He can't even move.
Bless you.
Yeah,
he can't.
Cali looks
I'm not
pretty.
sure. I mean, if you look at
He
him
lost a lot of weight.
training,
He looks pretty small.
yeah,
Yeah, but he
I'm
looks
not sure
more
how much he
athletic
weighs.
now,
He's probably
John. He
a bit
might be a
heavier than
better.
me.
He's probably a better fighter now that he's smaller.
Dave, I just did an interview with his friend Kong. You know what I'm saying? And he was the one who broke up the fight where Cali was. He said Cali was actually going to go try to stab that guy. Remember outside Gold's Gym?
Yeah,
when they
yeah,
did
yeah.
the thing and the guy walked
Yeah,
past.
there's
And
a
the guy was.
guy who's a paying member had the audacity to walk past when Cali's doing his video. I mean, come
Maybe
on,
Mike
man.
Van Wick wants to fight Cali Muscle.
I like Cali Muscle. I don't think
Maybe.
he's that bad, but he shouldn't say shit about the dead. You know,
Stewart
Don't talk
wants to
about the
fight
dead.
Cali Muscle. We don't need anybody else.
Or we can have a round robin. Maybe we could have like a tag team,
I'm gonna
Mr.
do
G and Stewart versus Cali Muscle and Mike Van Wick or something like that. You
And
know.
why don't you? That's what I was going to say. Why don't you get the big guy, that Van Wick, to fight the little guy?
Wow, yeah, that Van Wick's a big
Well,
guy. isn't he?
I doubt Cali Muscle will take you up on your challenge, but we're putting it out there. Cali Muscle, if you want to fight Stewart, he's willing to fight you, whatever discipline you want, and we'd be more than happy to promote that. Mr. G, if you want to get involved, let us know. I don't know if Mr. G is definitely going to be in defense of Big Lenny because they're friends. So I would assume that Mr. G would fight Cali Muscle too, probably,
Yeah.
right?
Boy, Stuart, where are you? Where are you in London or are you in England or are you?
Well,
UK?
outskirts of London, near sort of halfway between Brighton and London. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you? Is it nighttime over there or just out of curiosity?
No, he just didn't pay his electric
Yeah,
bill.
it's
No. I didn't mean it just because of that, but I was just curious.
funnily enough, I did, and it's very expensive. It's 6:30 over here, so yeah, it's getting dark and all the rest of it. But the lights in this front room aren't very good, so
No, Stuart, I was just curious because when I talk to Lee Priest, it's the time difference is insane. Today is tomorrow, tomorrow's today. I was just curious. I wasn't talking
5 hours difference. Greg, it's 5 hours difference, so it's not that
5
big.
hours. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, Stuart, we put it out there. Let's see if Cali
on the
responds.
subject of it, I don't think
I
he
like
will.
the fact that
I
you're
don't think he
willing to
will. I think he
defend
won't sell it.
Well, I like the fact that you're willing to defend
I was
the
gonna
honor of
say.
Big Lenny,
Yes.
and hopefully,
Well, I'm not a religious
Cali will
person,
respond.
right? I'm not religious, but I hope that there is a heaven in this case, and I hope he's up there looking down, realizing how many people cared about him. And
well, Big Lenny's sitting right next to you, right here.
Right,
Big guys, I have him
challenge.
eating lunch with me, so according to my sister. So
Yeah,
we love Big Lenny, and it's a sad day that when we lost him, and unfortunately, if you and Cali want to fight, maybe we can take the money and we can put it up for charity or something like that, and donate it to what would Big Lenny want to donate
that's
charity?
exactly it. It's a way.
What charity would he want to donate money to?
Donate. He would donate to
Transsexuals of the world.
Research
I
for
don't
heart
know.
disease.
Yeah.
Well, maybe 10's Foundation. No, I think he'd do something for like orphan kids or sick kids or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I
Saint
think it'd be orphan, something like that. Yeah.
Or like a
Yeah,
homeless shelter for
He
trans.
works in
Let's
a
buy
hospital.
Greg a new car with the money. Yeah, let's buy Greg a new car with the money.
No, I
No,
love
I
my
think a homeless shelter for trannies would be a good use of the money.
I got that over here.
Is a homeless shelter for trannies, John.
They can stay at
Yeah,
my
Greg's
house.
house.
John. They can stay at my house.
You should.
Wait, here's my boy Lee Priest.
Greg, you might be able to get like a tax deductible thing, like a church does. If you become a shelter for transsexuals. Yeah.
Wait, my boy Lee Priest is here. Morning, Lee. Good morning.
See,
Lee.
he's up.
All right. What's up, Lee?
What's up, Lee?
Morning,
Lee
Lee.
Priest, excellent.
By the way,
Love it.
I did text message Jimmy, and he never joined us. So he could be in the emergency
He's
room.
mad
now.
at you,
right now.
Dave.
I talked
What?
to him. He was working.
He's mad at
Too
you.
bad.
He's not mad at me. He texted
he
me he
is.
loved me the other day.
Well, that's because he's sentimental, but he's mad at you because you don't pay attention to him.
Oh my God,
It's-
I got
He
problems.
complained to me the other day about it.
I
Dave,
got
never
problems.
call-
I'm busy. I'm very busy.
He doesn't like that.
Yeah. Well, too bad. All right. Well, guys, thanks for joining us today, and give us your opinion on the Mike Van Wick NIPPARD battle. And it seems like a lot of fights brewing today. Cali Muscle, Stewart, Mr. G's looking for a fight for the last 3 years, and we haven't found anyone for him. But
I'm sorry.
I think Larry Shirt is looking for a fight.
yeah, Larry Shit is
I
looking
want
for.
Larry's shirt.
I like Larry's shirt.
The funny
I
thing is,
didn't
the
realize
person
he was
who's
wearing
had
a
the
shirt.
most
I
on
couldn't
his
see his
channel is
body. I
probably
thought it was just a
Romano.
floating
Larry,
head.
it's very like
It's
very.
a tie dye, right?
It's I like it. No, it's
camouflage.
Yeah, it's
Can't tell.
camouflage.
No.
Yeah, I like the
What
shirt.
brand is that,
Like
Larry?
in camo, yeah.
I got it at the Olympia. It's
very
an
nice.
Olympia
It's
shirt.
But what is it though? Who makes it?
I said it's from the Olympia.
No, he
I
means
guess
what
the
brand?
Mr. Olympia official.
Is it an
Yeah,
Olympia
sure.
outfit?
Oh, it's Olympia
It
official.
has an Olympia emblem on the back.
Turn around. Let me see. Oh yeah, it's on the side too. Oh yeah, it's
I
cute.
like it. There you
Yeah,
go.
I
It's a 12.
Mike
Lenny.
is Olympia
Official
too.
merch.
Oh, very good.
I
Very
like that
cool.
shirt. That
All right,
shirt's
well-
that shirt's intimidating my shirt. My shirt's like this. Get me off.
Greg,
I
is
like-
that shirt from high school too, or no?
Yeah, I found it in the junk.
The dead guy from the next door, John, used to wear that.
You
Probably.
know, I thought of this for Greg. What he should do is Greg should solicit as many famous people as he can for some clothing they want to throw out, old underwears, socks, shirts, whatever. Send them to Greg. He will revitalize them and wear them. And then he can say, today I'm wearing George Clooney's old underwear, or something like that.
Am I the only guy that still wears look, I got tiny white.
He only wears dead man's clothes, John.
Yeah.
No
you
one
are, you
wears
are.
tighty whities. I can't
No.
believe that you wear
Oh,
that.
I didn't even know they
Am I
made
the
them
only
anymore.
guy that still wears that though?
You
Well,
got
yeah,
shit
because
stains
those
in
are from
them
the
too.
1970s. That's why you still have them. They don't
Well,
even make them anymore.
I don't even have to put them on. I just tell them like this, and they come running over and I
Yeah,
go.
and how do you hide all the admiral stripes on them?
This guy's
I
got
was
the best
gonna say,
comment of the
you're
day.
a very brave man. You're a very brave
Best
man,
comment-
Greg.
best comment of the day.
Thank-
Your
thank
track
you,
record,
Stuart.
blimey.
Models underwear on.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
that's
Stuart.
great.
I appreciate that.
All right, I got to wrap this up, guys. Thanks for joining us, Stuart. Thanks for
It's a
joining us.
tribute, Greg.
We love you,
Thank you,
Jimmy.
Stuart.
No,
We
thank
miss
you very much
big
for
time.
having me.
Thank
We'll
you,
see you
Stuart.
next week, guys.
All right,
Peace
guys.
out, guys. Have a
Later.
good day.
Thank you. I
Guys,
love you
Fingers
guys.
crossed.
Love you.